Yo, Dame Lillard is wildin' on IG right now. And by the time this video gets posted, it'll probably be irrelevant. But screw it, I'm gonna add it anyway. So if you wonder what Dame posted on IG, here's the pic. That's right, guys, it's official. Durant is going to Portland to team up with Nurkic and Dame. I guess it seems as though rookie Shaedon Sharpe has made your pull, because in less than 2 days with Portland, KD is rumored to pull up and be a Blazer. Okay, alright. Let's get to stuff that'll actually happen. Like the fact that Deandre Ayton is very certainly on the move. Which is kinda crazy, because the dude is mad talented. I mean, sure, not as good as the people drafted after him, like Luka or Trey, but almost any team would love to have Ayton. Honestly, I think he's being moved because there's drama between him and Monty Williams, Suns head coach, which is mad petty for two grown men to ruin a franchise because they don't get along. But I'm sure Monty has his reasons for not wanting to coach Ayton. Anyway, now that DeAndre is on the market, there are about 8 teams that either have interest in him or labeled him as a fit, according to Woj. But the main team I want to focus on in this part of the video are the Atlanta Hawks, who are the only real competitors left in this kind of not so exciting bidding war for a non-flashy big man. But when are big men ever flashy? Anyway, let's start with why this could happen. And this point, it's well believed throughout the entire league that John Collins will definitely not be on the Hawks roster come opening night. The only problem with moving Collins, though, is the contract he comes attached with, which is a 4-year, $102 million deal. And boom, this is where Ayton comes in. I mean, with Atlanta clearly trying to reshape their roster, I think adding some solid defensive pieces like Ayton, especially in the paint, is exactly what this team needs. And I think it's fairly obvious due to the fact that with John Collins on his way out, the only starting big man they have now would be Clint Capella, who, don't get me wrong, is a great scorer down low, but isn't so great on the other end of the floor. And now with Detroit going ahead and drafting Jalen Durant, center, in the lottery, they've essentially removed themselves from the Deandre Ayton sweepstakes. So, if I were a betting man, I'd definitely be putting my money on Ayton going straight to Atlanta, because changes are coming to the Hawks front court this summer, one way or another. Alright, let's keep it moving. The next player's future I want to talk about is first-time All-Star, full-time baller, Dejante Murray. Because if y'all don't know by now, Brody's definitely moving. Which is kind of crazy considering the fact that the Spurs are even fielding trade offers for this guy. He is far and ahead their best player. Like, come on, can anyone even name another Spurs player? You can't. Whatever. I guess if they sucked for 3 years, what's one more? Dejante has been highly rumored to go to, you guessed it, the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, at this point, the video should just be called The Dream of Atlanta. You know what? We'll workshop the title. That doesn't really make sense. Whatever. Well, let's move. I guess the deal would look something like Dejante Murray to the Hawks for Danilo Gallinari and a handful of picks. With the deal, the Hawks would be getting the best defensive point guard in the game, which is huge because he can definitely balance out that backcourt due to the fact that even though Trae Young is near perfection on offense, he can be lackluster at times on the defensive end. And I guess the only positive you could spin for the San Antonio Spurs is the fact that they could use this as a rebuilding year and just tank this season so that they can draft, future NBA legend and draft prospect Victor Wembanyama out of France. And if you watch any 2K NBA MyGM YouTubers, then you know who this guy is. Shout out to Click. Anyway, he's supposedly the French LeBron James or something like that. Okay, now that we've talked about the upside for both the Hawks and the Spurs, if they were to do a deal surrounding Dejante Murray, let's move on to the last trade idea of the video, which is a deal that could be happening between the New York Knicks and some forgettable team in California that you probably didn't realize played in California. Not only that, but the focal point of this realistic trade would be De'Aaron Fox. But that doesn't make sense. I thought the Fox were trying to contend. Isn't that why they drafted some old dude in back-to-back years and traded for Sabonis mid-season? While both facts might be true, I'm not trying to hear none of that, because the front office knows damn well that this roster they have right now is filthy and not in the good kind of way. I mean, the only way to fix what's going on in Sacramento is to tear everything down from scratch and just restart. And you could do that by trading Fox to the Big Apple for an aging Derrick Rose and a nice young piece like RJ Barrett, who I honestly have having a higher ceiling than Fox. Plus throwing like a future first. What this does for the Knicks is give them a true point guard who they can pair with Jalen Brunson in the backcourt. Oh, that's right. Did I forget to mention the fact that there's a 100% chance that Jalen is signing a super mega deal with the Knicks? A 4-year, $110 million deal is what's being rumored to be offered, which is actually insane. Like, I know he did his thing in the playoffs, but dude's just averaging 16 points per game this season, 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Like, that isn't $27.5 million, millions of dollars a year worthy of stats, is it? Right? Am I wrong? If so, let me know, because that is a lot of money for a player like Brunson, in my opinion. I think I've covered everything I want to cover. Damn, I cannot wait for July 1st. I'm so hyped to watch Stranger Things. Oh yeah, and that whole NBA signing / trading period is gonna happen too. See y'all then.